Good morning, children. I hope you all are doing well. This is your SST teacher, Poonam Avasthi. Today we are going to revise a topic of lesson number 1, when, where and how administration produces records. So we are going to watch all about how British administration produces records and what kind of records they produced. So till now we have studied history, the concept of when, where and how, and we understood periodization, and a term came out finally, colonial. Then how do we know what happened in this modern period or colonial period in India? So this is our today's topic, administration produces records. So let's begin from here. So if I say from where you study about history, so you would say a textbook, but the person who wrote this book, from where he get all this information which happened 200 or 250 years ago. History which is written is always based on evidences. So from where we get evidences to write about it? So many records are made by administration which later on becomes evidences to write or to know about the facts. If we talk about modern period, in India, administration was in the hands of Britishers. So they produced official records of British administration. Every instruction, every plan, every policy, even fines, agreement, every investigation had to be clearly written up. All important documents were carefully preserved. This recording system was not new. It was invented by Mughals and Britishers forwarded it. So what happened? They maintained record rooms along with each administrative institution or block, like archives or museums, or some record rooms were made. So whatever letters, instructions and reports, survey reports and any other reports of each institutions were preserved over there. All of these documents were beautifully written up by calligraphists, and with the spread of printing, multiple copies were made later on, and through which we get all the information about that period. Working over on all these things, history was written. These all are sources by which one can get information and forward history to the people. So it actually helped us understanding about this historical events which happened. So what happened after that? But children, understand this which I am going to say. Very important point. Whenever we will refer official record, few things can be left. How? Because official records do not tell us everything. Why? Because official records can be biased. And so from where, what are the other sources which we are going to understand and why these records were biased? British official records can be in favor of only Britishers, as we have seen the example of James Mill, that the book which he wrote was surely in the favor of Britishers. So why it was the bias system or only in the favor of Britishers this system was there? Because of the absence of Indian perspective, Indian vision. Because the administration was handled by Britishers. So the perspective was also of the Britishers at that time. And we have seen the example of James Mill. So history must be looked from others' perspective also. So what are the other different sources from which we can go through more into the history? So we can go through from diaries, from journals of people, from travelers' point of view, and from the personalities and their ideas of leaders and poets, their ideas and reformers. But after understanding and recording all these things, who were left? The poorer group of Indias. Who were those poorer groups? Peasants, workers, tribals. Why they were left? Because there was a lack in education and awareness. Understood? Let's recall this once. What official records do not tell us? The vision of the perspective of other people there. because the official records were made only by Britishers, and they can be in the favor of Britishers, and there was an absence of Indian perspective. So that we started referring diaries, journals of people, travelers, and of important personalities, ideas of leaders, poets, and reformers. After all these indigenous records, peasant workers and tribals, all of the poorer strata was left. Because of the lack of education, they can't write their problems, their vision, and there was lack of awareness also. So what can be done? Surveys can be conducted. People can go to their place and they can record what are they watching there. So many different kind of surveys were conducted by Britishers at that time. Population survey, revenue survey, land survey, and mapping exercises were also held. So why all of these surveys were very important for Britishers? To map all of India and to understand revenue system, to understand how much tax was to be collected and from which state and from which region it is going to be there. And by land survey, what they are going to understand? Their pattern, cropping patterns, what kind of soil was there, and many other things they can understand about people and the ideas behind them. Population surveys were also conducted to know more about the distribution of population, their caste, religion, and occupations, etc. All of this modern period we will study about. In all of this modern period, we are going to study about establishment of colonial rule, as we are discussing now, and in the upcoming chapters we will be studying about the fight we put up against it. That's it for today. Thank you so much. Keep watching, keep learning.